Hello, fellow Star Trek fans. I'd like to share this part of my Star Trek collection with you. It's a model that I just finished building, and it's the 1/1000 Polar Lights USS Enterprise, but it's the Space Seed Edition, where it's got the Botany Bay. And the Botany Bay actually attaches to the Enterprise on the stand, but what I wanted to do was I wanted to make the pilot version of the Enterprise, and as you all know, that was not the version of the Starship that had the Botany Bay in tow. So I decided to do them as two different models because it gave you the option. It did come with this base, the Polar Lights base, and it also came with the original base that the ship would mount to. So I decided to take the original base and mount the Botany Bay to it. So let me go ahead and I'll show you the Botany Bay. We'll put her to the side for a minute. And I did the SS Botany Bay. For those of you that are familiar with this kit, it is modeled in kind of like a rust color. I wanted it to look weathered, and I'm new to the paint gun, so I painted it to try to get it to look like it's been through a lot, through the harsh elements in space. I like the Delta shield. This is the ship stand that came with the Enterprise, and I thought it was just so cool, so I thought that would look really nice. So I painted it, I airbrushed it, and I'm pleased with the results. There are a couple of areas where it worn a little bit from the handling, but overall I like the base, the stand, and the Botany Bay herself. I'm pleased with the weathered look that I was able to achieve. I used, the colors that I used were granite gray, and I mixed a little bit of black in for the gray, and then I used rust color. It was kind of like a rust, but it was mixed with a little bit of the copper, and I used that for some of the brown, and I used black, a combination of black and the charcoal gray for the dark areas, and I was able to airbrush onto the ship. Keep in mind, it's not very big. This is a 1/1000 scale, but I think overall the Botany Bay came out pretty good. Let me do another angle of her for you. Make her look like she's flying for you. Although she was adrift in space, she wasn't actually flying when the Enterprise took her in tow. And of course, this is the edition of Star Trek where we were introduced to Khan Noonien Singh. Captain Kirk would offer him the options of either being put in prison or dropped off on a planet, which in this case was Ceti Alpha 5, for him to live on. And we end up finding in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Ceti Alpha 6 ends up exploding and shifting the orbit of Ceti Alpha 5, and everything was laid waste, and it was a waste planet. He then takes his revenge on Captain Kirk. But during the Wrath of Khan, at that stage, it's Admiral James T. Kirk. But this is the SS Botany Bay. Let me see if I can zoom in to get some of the detail for you. For such a small ship, it is really detailed quite well. Please excuse my shaky hands. But this is a very small model, and I want to get it all for you in the shot. Let me show you the rear shot of the radar dishes. I assume those to be solar panels, but I'm not sure. The rear view. And that is my version of the SS Botany Bay. Again, this is in the Star Trek model kit, Polar Lights Star Trek Space Seed Model Kit 1/1000 of the USS Enterprise, which includes the Botany Bay. I like it when they do special editions, like they've done the Enterprise Incident, that was AMT with fiber optics. They've done the Tholian Web, where they have the Defiant. They've done Space Seed. I don't know about you guys, but I would love for AMT to come out with a model kit with the Doomsday Machine and do the Enterprise with the Doomsday Machine, or perhaps the Enterprise with the Constellation and the Doomsday Machine itself. That would be really cool. But that is the Botany Bay. And now let me show you my Enterprise, my version of the Enterprise that I built. I have different stages of videos. Well, I have uploaded videos of different stages of the build of this ship. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to get it, the paint job, to look like the Smithsonian model. And this is before the restoration, because you guys know before the restoration they had all kinds of grid lines underneath the saucer section, and I thought, nah, I didn't really like that. But I did like the top. It had that rust kind of line that was right where it starts to go up underneath where the dome area is. And I made this the pilot version. And this is kind of a cross between when Captain Christopher Pike lost the Enterprise and when James T. Kirk took over. You can see the ends of the warp engines instead of the ball. It's got the little, not a grid, but you know, the little circle areas for the exhaust. Again, looking at the paint job. And you know, this is a 1/1000 scale, so this was really difficult because I wanted to light it. So the wires, you can see the wiring that I used to put the lights in, they take up a lot of room. So as soon as I put them in, everything was off and nothing really fit quite the way it was intended to. So I had to really put a lot of cutting, a lot of patience, and a lot of, well, adjustments in order to get it to fit together. But I did get the lighting in, and I wired the switch onto the panel. This is the Polar Lights panel. And let me see if I can get a shot underneath for you of all the, I hot glued the switch in place and I hot glued the battery pack. Again, trying to show you the paint job. And I ended up putting a sealant or a protective coat on top, the clear coat. It is a gloss finish, as you can tell by the bridge area, the saucer section. Again, for the gray, I used granite gray, and I mixed it with black until I got the shade of gray that I thought was on the Smithsonian model. And then I used the green. I used a combination of the mossed green and the forest green with a little bit of the charcoal gray mixed in to try to give it that dark appearance. And then I used the rust color, is a combination of brown, a little bit of yellow, and a little bit of the copper to try to get that rusted effect throughout the ship. Again, I'm going by the pictures that I've seen from the model in the Smithsonian. And again, I apologize because this didn't come out the best. Despite all the cutting, the pieces didn't go together that great because of the thickness of the wires that I used. But the paint job is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys pictures of my model and pictures of the actual model at the Smithsonian. And of course the reflector dish on the pilot version was much larger, and that's copper. I airbrushed that with Tester's copper paint. A little bit of green on her neck, and the green and the brown throughout the ship. Try to give it that rusted harshness of space appearance. So let me go ahead and light her for you. Like I said, I put the custom switch in. Sorry about that. And she's wired. She'll light up the engine nacelles, the Bassard collectors, the bridge, the upper dome area. And I rigged the lights on the inside so that the clear plastic would, if not light up completely, at least glow the running lights, the red and the green. And the underneath of the saucer section, a primary hull, is lit as well. So overall, I'm pleased with this model. I wish it would have fit together a little better. But if you guys have watched any of my other videos with my modeling, I'm very new to modeling. I don't do it very often, and I'm really new to it, and the paint gun is a new experience for me. So I'm trying to get it to where it looks kind of good. I've seen videos on YouTube where you guys out there can just make mine look horrible. You guys do a fantastic job. There are so many great modelers out there. And their finished product, the models literally look like they just came off the screen. This is my USS Enterprise. Again, I put the switch on. And again, this one came with the Botany Bay. Part of the stand, the Botany Bay, would go on and attach to the ship. But Polar Lights gives you the option of doing the pilot version of the Enterprise, and I thought that was pretty cool. I don't have a pilot version as of yet, but I wanted to do this paint job because I have the 1/350 scale Polar Lights, and I'm very excited to do that model kit, but I wanted to see if I could paint this to make it look like the Smithsonian model, because I don't know if I'm going to paint the 1/350 or not, because I do have the deluxe lighting kit. And it's got the weathering decals, so I'm not sure if I'm going to paint it or if I'm going to use the decals. But I'll be doing an unboxing of that very shortly, and I'm very excited to do that model kit. This was kind of a practice run to do that model kit, and I wanted to see if I could get the painting effects to look like the Smithsonian. And like I said, I'm going to put a couple of pictures of my ship against the Smithsonian one, and you guys can be the judge to see if you think I did a good job or not. But this one came with the Botany Bay, and I elected to do the Botany Bay as its own model kit. Again, it's a lot of detail for such a small kit. And this is the first Polar Lights model kit that I actually do of the Enterprise. The others that I've done have just been the AMT ones. So I'm excited about the Polar Lights. And I'm very excited about the 1/350 scale Enterprise. I cannot wait to start that. And I will do an unboxing for you guys to show you what's inside. And I will do an unboxing of the lighting set, the deluxe lighting set as well. But this is my version of the Polar Lights 1000 USS Enterprise. This is the Space Seat Edition, which includes the SS Botany Bay. As of that, the secondary hull being finished and the final assembly, this ship is now finished. I hope, like I said, there are a lot better models out there that you guys have done on YouTube. Some of them are just phenomenal. I'm new to this, and I'm still learning as I go. And I like to share my love of Star Trek with you guys, and my love of the Enterprise herself. I thank you very much for watching, and until next time, talk to you later.